Across the globe, communities are celebrating International Women's Day, honoring the achievements, resilience, and contribution of women in every sphere of life. With this year's theme focused on accelerate action, voices are rising to demand equality, recognition, and action for women's rights in a world still striving for gender parity. In studio to discuss gender equality in the Bahamas and her role spreading the message is Dr. Deborah Bartlett, a distinguished Bahamian media professional and community leader with a career spanning several decades. Dr. Bartlett is well known for her stellar career here at the Broadcasting Corporation, and she now serves as a consultant in the Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting. Welcome to What's Trending, Dr. Bartlett.
I enjoy watching you. It's my honor to be here, and let me celebrate you as one of the leading female journalists in our country, and you are globally competitive.
Well, thank you so much for those kind words. Now, you certainly have had a colorful career in media. How would you say that broadcasting has prepared you for your current role?
Broadcasting gives you exposure, and it's almost that you're exposed to every subject. I believe the strength is that time, exposure, diversifies your skills. When you are skilled at what you do, it creates a command or demand for your services. So the services, because of going the extra mile and being diligent throughout my career, has not only created opportunities in the local community, but in the international communities that we're talking about. It's International Day. So it's being willing to serve in any capacity. And all of this gives us perspective. It gives us the ability to live in three tenses: the past, the present, and the future.
Well, we can see why you've been keeping so busy, but if we go back to what's happening in terms of where you are now at social services, obviously they have placed so much emphasis on equality. How would you assess the current state of gender equality in the Bahamas?
I think it's twofold. We are making tremendous progress. If we look in the public service, as a matter of fact, the permanent secretary for the Ministry of Social Services is a female, and that is across the public service. And she is brilliant. She is a joy to work with. She is visionary, and she has that institutional knowledge. So she's been processed to lead, and she's doing that effectively. So has any number of females in the public service and in the private sector, and we see that leadership in the number of NGOs that we have. My concern, even as we pursue quality, when we look into the classrooms, there are more women than there are men. I think as we go on this journey, it's very important not to, in our progress, undermine men, because the strength of the nation is the strength of the family, and the family needs men back in the home. We have 71% of our homes led by single parents. Some of them are men, yes, but the majority women. That creates an imbalance. However, we still have a long way to go. With
your background in media, how have you seen the gender roles evolve in the media industry over the years? So we focus a little bit on that. Because obviously you say women are doing what they need to do. We need to do a little bit more, but talk to us about how you've seen the evolution over the years.
When I came, there was, to ZNS as an example, there was Dorothy Panzer and Elva Russell Rhodes. A lot of times we don't place enough emphasis on the people who make us look good. We have today, as the producer, Betty Thompson. She's one of the finest journalists, not only in the Bahamas, but she is globally competitive. What we lack is celebrating each other and making sure that there is the institutional knowledge in terms of history, to know our history. If we don't know our past, we're gonna make the same mistakes today and weaken our future. And so to answer your question, look at the number of great journalists we have had. We can't forget the Yvette Stewarts and the Paulette Zonical, Michelle Malcolm, Judy Terrell. The young people wouldn't know them, but that was because of Kelsey Johnson, Obadiah Wilchcombe in particular, and ensuring that there were more women in the corporation.
What would be your message, or what message would you like to share with women who feel limited by societal expectations?
Be motivated by purpose. Gifts, talent threatens the enemy of progress. And anytime you're on your way up, envy, where there's every wicked work, gonna try to bring you back down. It's very important to know who to trust, how much to trust, and who to never trust. So that means your relationship means connection. You have to be very careful with who you connect with on your way up. My point is, you need a support system. And let me just say finally how I know the support system isn't quite working. Because at social services, the minister, the Honorable Mazel Rhoda, and P.S. Federamin commissioned a survey that will be released. I'm talking a little ahead of sharp. And do you know what they said? One of the greatest hindrances for women to secure the office of Prime Minister? Lack of campaign financing. And so that means there are two things. The women are not getting together to put their money where their mouth is, and we are not truly supporting in thought, word, and deed. We were the ones who got the men together so that we can all vote. And the question is, will we accelerate? Because the Sustainable Development Goals are really demanding or dictating that listen, or encouraging us to say by 2030, let's have gender equality. We have to do that when we connect and help each other succeed.
Well, it's always a pleasure here with you, Dr. Bartlett. You always give good advice. That's something to definitely think about in terms of what you just mentioned. But thank you again for appearing on What's Trending.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Well, there's so much more to come. Another key female contributor in media when What's Trending returns.